Admiral Kethavar studied the tactical display with satisfaction. 3,000 ships of the hegemony's finest war fleets hung in perfect formation around the small blue world, their weapons trained on the planet's surface. The humans had finally been found, and their defiance would end today. "Status report," he commanded, his forearms manipulating the holographic controls with practiced efficiency. "All battle groups in position, Admiral," his tactical officer replied. "The primitive world shows minimal space-based defenses. A few orbital stations, some communication satellites. Nothing that could threaten even our smallest corvettes." Kethavar's mandibles clicked in amusement. The humans had been a thorn in the hegemony's side for over 2 centuries, ever since their first ship had stumbled into hegemony space, and somehow escaped to tell the tale. Since then, human raiders had struck supply convoys, liberated slave worlds, and generally made nuisances of themselves across 3 sectors. But they had always run, always hidden, never stood and fought. Today that would change. "Open a channel to the surface," Kethavar ordered. The main screen flickered, revealing a middle-aged human woman in what appeared to be some kind of military uniform. She sat calmly behind a simple desk, her hands folded, wearing an expression that struck Kethavar as oddly expectant. "I am Admiral Kethavar of the Hegemony Third Fleet," he announced. "You will surrender immediately and submit to processing. Any resistance will result in the complete sterilization of your world." The human smiled, actually smiled. "Admiral Kethavar," she said pleasantly. "I'm Director Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Command. We've been waiting for you." Kethavar's secondary arms twitched in confusion. "Waiting? You dare mock the hegemony's might?" "Not mocking," Chen replied. "Just prepared. You see, we've known about your invasion plans for quite some time. Your species isn't very good at operational security when you're drunk on fermented kelp extract." The Admiral's blood ran cold. Those reports were classified at the highest levels. How could these primitives possibly? "Oh, don't look so surprised," Chen continued conversationally. "Did you really think we spent 200 years just running and hiding? We've been busy, Admiral. Very busy." On the tactical display, something impossible began to happen. The stars around Earth's solar system were moving, shifting. What had appeared to be empty space began to shimmer and fade, revealing something that made Kethavar's 4 hearts skip a beat. Ships, thousands upon thousands of ships. But these weren't the crude, ramshackle vessels the humans had used for their hit-and-run attacks. These were sleek predators, bristling with weapons that registered as completely unknown on the hegemony's sensors. They had been cloaked, hiding in plain sight, and now they formed a perfect sphere around Kethavar's fleet. "Impossible," the Admiral whispered. "Our intelligence indicated—" "Your intelligence indicated exactly what we wanted it to indicate," Chen interrupted. "Every secret base you discovered, every hidden shipyard you destroyed, every desperate last stand you witnessed. All theater, Admiral. All misdirection." More contacts appeared on the display. Massive constructs that dwarfed even the hegemony's heaviest dreadnoughts were decloaking throughout the system. Space stations that looked less like orbital platforms and more like flying fortresses. And something else, something that made the tactical officer stumble backward in shock. "Admiral," the officer gasped, "long-range sensors are detecting—" "It's impossible, but there are similar fleets decloaking in the Rigel, Vega, and Centauri systems and around the hegemony homeworld." Chen's smile widened. "Surprised? We've had 2 centuries to prepare for this moment, Admiral. 2 centuries to study your technology, infiltrate your networks, map your territories. 2 centuries to build and plan and wait." She leaned forward slightly. "You see, humanity has a particular talent that your species lacks. We're very, very good at holding grudges. Every world you've enslaved, every species you've subjugated, every atrocity you've committed, we remember all of it, and we've been preparing to return the favor." The tactical display now showed a 3-dimensional chess game, where Kethavar's fleet was hopelessly outmaneuvered. Human ships had emerged from asteroid fields, from behind planetary bodies, from within the solar system's gas giants themselves. His 3,000 ships were now surrounded by nearly 50,000 human vessels. "This is impossible," Kethavar repeated, his voice hollow. "No species could build such a fleet in secret. The resources alone—" "You're thinking like a hegemony, Admiral," Chen said patiently. "Centralized construction, massive shipyards, obvious industrial signatures. But humans think differently. We built our ships in the dark between stars, using resources from dead systems you didn't even know existed. We perfected our stealth technology by studying your own sensors for decades. We learned patience from species you thought you'd broken completely, but who were just waiting for the right moment to strike back. A new voice cut through the communication channel. Another human, this one wearing the insignia of a fleet admiral. Director Chen, the voice said. All Earth defense fleets report ready. Liberation fleets at Hegemony Core Worlds report ready. Slave World Uprising fleets report ready. We await your orders. Chen nodded slowly, then looked directly at Kethvar. Admiral, you came here today thinking you'd found humanity's last refuge. You thought you'd finally cornered us, finally forced us to fight on your terms. She stood, and despite being alone in what was presumably a simple office somewhere on Earth's surface, she seemed to loom over the alien admiral. You were wrong. This isn't our last stand, Admiral. This is our opening move. The communication channel remained open as Chen turned to someone off-screen. Signal all fleets, she said clearly. Operation Righteous Fury is now active. Begin the liberation of the galaxy. Kethvar watched in numb horror as his tactical display filled with red warning indicators. Human fleets throughout hegemony space were decloaking simultaneously, launching coordinated strikes against military installations, supply depots, and slave processing centers. In the span of minutes, 2 centuries of careful human planning unfolded into devastating reality. The humans hadn't been hiding. They'd been surrounding the entire hegemony, and now finally they were done waiting. As the first human weapons fired, bathing Kethavar's flagship in brilliant light, his last thought was a bitter recognition of the truth. Humanity hadn't learned to run from superior force. They'd learned to become it.